Boy, we're all kind of dancing around the elephant, aren't we? I've had many times where I've asked people this morning already, how are you doing? Doing pretty good. And same thing to me. How are you doing? Pretty good, until it came to Crystal. Well, if you don't watch the news, things are pretty good. You know? PBS isn't broadcasting on the weekend for news, so hallelujah, right? They lost all their funding, so that was a good thing, right? You know, it's one of these things where if you ask, how's your faith doing right now? You know, what do you answer? You know, this is the way I would answer would be an article that I read in the Christian Century this last month. Woman that writes in there said, you know, if faith is a tree, I'm a leaf that's just shaking on a branch. I'm a twig that's so brittle that if you just touch me, I'd break off. Don't put too much on me, and don't follow my examples. My faith is just like that. It's just a quivering thing. And it feels like that, doesn't it? You know, could it get any worse? We don't ask that anymore. You know, so where does your faith go? And where do you put it? And I'm no different. I'm literally no different than all of you, wherever you are. You know, I do the same struggles. I have the same sleepless nights. I have the same questions and furies and hopes and misgivings, and yet here I am. Tell us something, you know. So I'm just going to dig in here just a little bit. I'll just say Abram, and Sarah were sent. Just go from this land that you know. Go from the familiar and go. Just go, and I will work through you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will give you as a blessing to all the nations, all people everywhere, not just specific different groups of people. All people will be blessed through you, and just go. So I love the sense of that, you know. So it says, and Abram went, and Lot went with him. So I like the idea of wenting as a verb. And so they wented. And where did they go? There was no instruction, there was no map, there was nothing. To went without even having a destination is what they did. And really quickly, Abram abandoned his wife so he wouldn't get his neck chopped off. And so there's for the righteousness part, right there. The great hero abandons her so that he doesn't get in jeopardy. So wenting, that's what we're doing. Right now we're wenting. It's like uncharted territory as we went. So that's Abram. And Nicodemus, a leader of the Jews, a Pharisee, who wants to know a lot, wants to know, and he's sincere. He's trying to figure stuff out. We know that you can't do any of the works you've done, Jesus, except, you know, with the power of God. You know, we got that, but we don't get it. You're willy-nilly spraying this stuff all over the place for people deserving and undeserving. We're trying to figure out where you stand so that we can understand a little bit about what your systematic theology is, and we can put it. It's kind of like wanting to have a library created, and that's what we all do. We have these libraries in our heads of what to do. And for instance, in the 80s, being a part of no nukes groups and nuclear freeze, there was hardly a night that I went to sleep, and many in that group especially, but in public, didn't go to sleep worried about nuclear holocaust and how close we are on the brink of that. We're closer today than we were then. No doubt. But that was an experience, standing with people protesting B-1 bombers being brought into South Dakota at the time, people being arrested for the protest. And it felt like a roadmap to kind of survive or make or stand up or witness. And the experience standing on that line that was painted by the Army and the Air Force. If you stepped over that, you'd be arrested. I was like, I'm back there again. It's an experience that I'll never forget. And if we could take that experience and put it in a jar with a cap, we could take it off the shelf for reference. What do we do now? Let me take that off the shelf. And you open it up, and it's like trying to capture the experience of the wind the other night. Just like the wind blows where it does, and you don't know where it comes, where you go. You don't ask how it gets there. You just feel it and experience it in the moment. There's no such thing as putting the experiences of the present moment, whatever it is, good or bad, in a jar so you can turn it into an aerosol, especially the good ones. You know, I think about this text, can you be born again? I can't help but thinking for myself, you know. I've only been a part of a couple births. And as a witness, you know, certainly not, well, the second time I was an active participant, no doubt. But the first time, I'd never been through it before. And when Emma was born 38 hours later, and I've said this before, I've never had the birth of a child before. I had no idea what it was like. And when Em was born, as blue as a blueberry, and they're trying to pull that cord off of their neck, and they're listening, and then they're pumping on this blueberry's chest. From a distance, I thought, that is so cool. I had no jar that said, this is to be feared. This is to be putting a sinking, it does now. This is to put a sinking feeling into your gut. Well, my wife, who's experienced more death than you could count, is looking over at her blueberry child and closing her eyes and just saying, of course. But me, I'm fascinated. And the team comes in and they push on her, and then they put a respirator on her, and they're pumping this thing. And then all of a sudden I hear this little cry, and everybody leaves, and there's this blue, dark blue baby turning to pink in seconds, just with a couple screams and breaths, like a light went on. And I thought, and that's how babies are born. That is so cool. I wanted to put it in, I still want to put it in a jar and take the cap off and experience it again and again. But I know more about how babies are born now, and I don't want to open that jar with what I know, because I've got other jars now that say how dangerous that was. So I've got these jars, you know, birth. I've seen llamas born. I've got all these jars. I look up there. Nicodemus wants to do the same thing. Jesus, we've seen you do this stuff. We know it's a part of God, but here is my experience. How do we frame what you're doing here with all these different groups? Can you explain it to me? And he's coming by cover of night because he doesn't want to get in trouble with others. Because there's divisions being brought, but he's curious. He wants to figure out how to fit it into his understanding. And Jesus will give it to him. The Spirit flows where it will. I know what it's like, you know, when a baby's born, you have 38 hours of labor, and then you hold on and you pray that the cord doesn't. That's what you do. And then Nicholas was born. So fast that there was no time to even lay down. Making an A-frame as she hugged my neck, gave birth to Nicholas standing up with one push. Everybody was surprised. The nurses, whoa, whoa, stop. And I didn't even get to see until I could step away. And it was a totally different experience. Put that in the jar and put the cap up there. Now I understand. Do I understand birth? Not even close. If I was a labor and delivery doctor, do I understand birth? No. And that's the thing, is we just have all these experiences in the present moment that we want to just hold on to. I think it's why we're fascinated with our phone, our cameras. You know, it's like Nicholas last week racing through the course, like setting records for starting at the back of the Berkey and ending at the front, weaving through thousands of people without even being winded, and then making friends along the way, helping people up the hills. Watching him, every time I saw him on the course, including at the end, he was coming so fast I never had a chance to even get it on the camera. I don't have a single picture of him because it went by so fast. And if I had a picture of him, would it help? I was fully in the moment with him there in the present. If I had a picture, even if it was good, would it do it? No, we all say that. You had to be there. So we have these experiences over and over again in the present that we're not present to. And the Spirit is there in the present. The Spirit is in the present. The wind is in the present, not in the past or the future. It's right here, right now. And that's what Jesus is saying. Unless you're born from above and you get in your body right now, you get present to what is real right now, good or bad, you can't know. And how often are we really present? It's why we've been praying with closing our eyes and feeling our feet, because we're hardly ever present. Has anybody got their shopping list done while you're sitting there? I imagine a couple of you. Be present is what Jesus says. Abram, go from your house. I'm not going to tell you where to go. Have you ever just gone, get in your bike, get on your feet, just get up and go? No destination, no hotel reservations, just go. It's been a long time, I'm sure. But when you do, and you don't know where you're going, you pay attention. It's like when I first met Karen, I realized when we came back to the cities, whenever we were back here, we'd have a destination, and Karen knows the cities far more than I, but I realized really quickly that whenever we went anywhere, Karen would drive like in a giant sea to get to where she was going, almost always. It's like, because I orient by a map, and I get the map, I put it in my head, and it's like this readout, and I know exactly the shortest distance between A and B. If it has to go through an alley or a parking lot, I'll do it. But not her. And then finally I asked, I said, why are you going? What's going on? Why are you driving all the way around? You realize that Dan's house is like 3 blocks from where we started. And she said, it's just the way I've always done it. I do it by orienting from Elliott Avenue, where I was in Minneapolis, and then I come all the way back to St. Paul. That's the craziest way to, but that's the way I do it. It's autopilot. And I think, God, I'm so much better because I have a map. And at least I'm in the present moment. No, I'm not. Even with a map, knowing between A and B, the map is my present. I'm asleep to the route too, no matter how it goes. I still think she's crazy. How to be present, not past and future. And then we think, how you doing today? We think, I don't want to be present. right? So on Friday morning, I picked up Andre. I was going to pick up Andre, and I was driving, got the coffee going here at church, and made it a little weak in case Raleigh came. And I got in there, and I turned on Melbourne Street off of here, and driving in our son Nick's car, and as I'm going to get Andre, he's going to get in the car in about 7 minutes, because it takes that long to get to him. And I saw some Tupperware on the floor of the car in the passenger side. And I leaned down to get it, and it slipped away from me, so I grabbed a little bit harder, and I'm grabbing it, and I looked up, and here's a pickup truck parked on Melbourne Street. And I thought, no problem, I know exactly where it's at. So I was swerving around that pickup truck, and BAM! I hear this big explosion. But I didn't hardly feel a thing. And I thought, geez, I hit that pickup truck. Boy, I was in the present right now. You know the first thing I did? I looked around to see if anybody saw it. I did. Did anybody see? And then I pulled over, and I thought, well, I better look and see. There's nothing wrong with that pickup truck. It's a 30-some-year-old pickup truck with the biggest heavy steel you ever saw, but I better check to see what happened on the side of this little roller skate I'm driving. And I look on the side. I go to look on the side, and I realize all this debris is in the street. And it's like, how can there be that much debris? And then I caught my eye. You can go as a witness. You can go down Melbourne Street now and see this wonderful experience. And that mirror, that side view mirror, caught the brake light. And it's really not my fault. The side view mirror caught the brake light and did not break off. It stayed there like it was a post. And that side view mirror grabbed that pickup truck's back box, and it ripped it open like a tuna can all the way to the cab. Curled it up and bent that side view mirror did all that. And then after it peeled it up, I saw the side view mirror just fall on the ground. I could almost put it back on. So I got out and left him a message with my name and my number. And he was calling a few times during our men's group, but I wanted to be present, right? So I'll call him back afterwards. I was present for that experience. I was not present for driving right before it happened. And accidents happen. But the thing that strikes me that I want to put in my jar now is I can be a very distracted driver and not get away with it. When I park in a parking lot now, my perception of where the bumper is very different. And I'm parking 4 feet from things now. Is it my glasses? Probably. That's happening to me in the present, right on the ground. Jesus is saying, be present. Be present right here, right now. And accidents happen. And when they do, own them. Oh. Turns out the guy was really happy because he wanted to get rid of that truck, and now he won the lottery. Ooh, what comes next? You know, I was going to tell the story about the one everybody knows, but I'm not going to. I'll just, the kid that breaks his leg and then the army can't bring him because he's got a busted leg. Well, praise be to God, he wasn't taken by the army. Well, we'll see, the dad says. And every turn you think, well, that's a good thing. Well, we'll see. And then it gets worse, and then it's at the very end. Boy, you've had a charmed life. Everything's been so good for you. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Stay in the driver's seat. Stay awake. Stay present. Feel the wind blow when it does. Because you can't make it blow, and you can't open a can to get it to blow for you. Be present. Even to this. I was thinking about if my faith is a leaf that's shaking or a twig that's ready to snap and can't sustain much. It's like the real good news is that we're connected to a tree. We're connected to a tree that's got roots in the ground, that's bringing nutrients up, and there are other people that have stronger connections that we can get nutrients through and can hold us. And that's why we come together. Some of us are more brittle than others. For that, we need to be gracious with each other. What is going to happen? We've really gotten into a pickle. I don't know. I know that it's good to be here right now and that we will be a blessing for all the nations if we keep present. And love is the number one thing that we can do. We're connected to the tree. I'd like to say I'm glad that you feel better, because you probably don't. But we can feel a little crummy together and know that there's something much bigger than us. Bob Wisen. We'll get through this. One way or another, we'll get through this. We may be alive or dead, but it's going to be fine because we're connected to something bigger. So all the jars in your life and your experiences, that's all they are. They're just a library, and they deceive you if that's all you go by. Amen.